everybody! We made it! We finally got a stream! Hello, hello! Hi Clara, hi Sheep Scaliver, and Robert Skitch, and Mr. Gista, and Kel Birdie, welcome on in! Hello, hello! And Moon, and have I missed anybody? If I missed anybody, hello! and also everybody who's lurking. Welcome on in! Thank you Clara and Moon for 10 months! How has it been 10 months? I genuinely don't know. But yeah, hello, we actually made it. We didn't go 3 full weeks without a stream, or did we? Did we? No, because we had I did the Thursday one after the Great Big Minecraft Dig. It's been, hi 3L, welcome on in. It has been a rough month, you guys. And I say that, we're in July now. I keep forgetting that it's July, even though we're like a week into July. Hey, Major Tactics, welcome on in. Don't worry about not watching for long. There will be a VOD as well. So, I mean, there'll be a VOD on Twitch, but there'll also be one on YouTube tomorrow. Basically, whenever stream ends today, that's when I schedule it for like 24 hours later on YouTube. So you can also catch it there, if that's easier for you. Also, thank you so much for the 200 bits, Sheep Scaliver. My goodness, so much hype for an ArchaeoPlays stream. Yeah, and I was saying things. I will say, I'm currently running on caffeine. I have more caffeine and more hope than I was running on Tuesday. Those of you who are in the Discord, I canceled Tuesday's stream with a less than peppy message, that less than usual pep message. I feel like you guys could probably tell that I was done and my patience was gone for this flare that has lasted for so long. And it's technically still here, but it's calmed down enough that I can stream for now, at least. So I'm going to. Also, thank you so much for the 100 bits, Moon. Well, I'm so happy. It's been so long since I've been able to chat with you guys like live in a stream. Yes, very, very much hype. Caffeine is how we roll. Absolutely. Yeah, so for those of you who may not be aware, because a lot of people followed me, well, they may have words. I have a PhD, I promise. I can put words together. I have 6 different chronic illnesses, and they were all having a field day over the last 2.5 weeks. One or two of them, we're not entirely sure which one is the culprit, but 1 or 2 of them are the main culprits. And they're the ones that like make it difficult for me to walk or like I couldn't sleep for a long time because the pain would keep waking me up. It was rough. It was rough. So the good news, though, the bad news is that I haven't been able to stream, and I've done very little in terms of working on the videos that I've been trying to get out. Although I have made progress. It's not going to get published this week, but it will be published next week. Like, there's no way that it's not getting published next week. But yeah, the good news though is that I had a lot of time to putter around in my dig season. I'm calling this dig season, the like single player 1.20 world, because I figured giving it a title helps people differentiate between them. I have like built a whole house and done some stuff, mostly like the kind of grindy stuff that you kind of need to get to before you can really start to do archaeology in earnest. Archaeology it's not that it's not an early game thing, but it's a lot easier as a mid-game thing, basically. So I was trying to get to a point where we could do archaeology without struggling. because archaeology by itself, archaeology in real life can be a struggle. We don't need it to be that much of a struggle in Minecraft. But yeah, also you moved in the last few weeks. Oh my goodness, that's a lot. I hope the move went well. It did. Okay, good. Quite a lot. Finally well settled. And a small house with your own garden. Oh, that's so great. I'm so happy for you. That's great. Where is the time supposed to come from? When did I say that? Because I feel that with my soul. I feel like that needs to, like, if I ever end up with merch, That quote needs to be somewhere. That and I'm fine, everything's fine, it's fine, everything, that kind of, hey V's, welcome on in. How are you doing? I know you've been recovering from surgery. How's it going? I hope you're feeling a bit better. Welcome in. And this is like the first time in a while where V's and Moon have been in a chat together. So yeah, feel free to feel free to hype and such, guys. Yeah, I'm so glad that I'm feeling better. Part of it too is that the medication that I was on, basically this one or two of these chronic illnesses, again, we can't decide which because we would have to go in like surgically to identify which one is causing the issue. But whichever one it is, or it's both of them, it could be both of them. Knowing my body, it might be both of them. Basically, they had given me a new medication to try that we had already tried like a year and a half ago, and it really didn't work. But there had been like several major improvements in the last year and a half and like 2 other chronic illness diagnoses. So it was like, okay, well, let's try it again because we know a little bit more about this medication and what it can do. And, you know, hopefully maybe the issues we were having were these other chronic illnesses that we didn't know about at the time. It turns out that no, this medication just really doesn't work for me. So basically like 2, well, I was going to say 2, like 3 of my chronic illnesses are, include a difference in hormones. So I have both too much estrogen and too much like testosterone, androgen kind of stuff. My body just like, it's overachieving on the hormones, basically. So this hormonal medication was basically adding in a bit more of like female-based hormones to be like, hey, calm down. And apparently my body's like, yeah, we're great with too much estrogen, we're great with too much testosterone and androgens, but like, you want normal amounts of this other hormone? I'm sorry, but no, we don't know what to do with that. So yeah. So the point there is that I feel like a certain amount of the last 2.5 weeks has been the stress of me knowing that this medication wasn't working and feeling like I still couldn't stop taking it until like the end of this month because that's what I had been told. And then on Tuesday, because I was just done with the world, I emailed the specialist who had prescribed the medication and was like, look, here's the situation. Can I please stop taking this? And thankfully, she got back to me and was like, yes, you could stop taking it. So I think a certain amount of me feeling better is me just not being stressed about taking this medication that isn't working anymore. So yeah. You tested COVID positive. Oh, no. Oh, no. You weren't even sick. Oh, I'm so sad to hear that. Your surgeon's a treasure. Oh, good. Okay, for tomorrow. My goodness. Okay, well, then, you know, I was feeling really badly that I hadn't been able to stream and keep you occupied while you were recovering from surgery, but now we can do that. So I'm not streaming tomorrow, just as an FYI for everybody. And having been through surgery, I don't know that V's will be functional enough tomorrow to care. But next week there will be streams, there will be a video, etc, etc, etc. 6. Yeah, I have 6 chronic illnesses. I tried for a while to convince my body that chronic illnesses aren't like Pokemon and we really don't need to catch them all. But I am, as somebody, I mean, as you may have guessed, somebody with a PhD, I am a chronic overachiever. And apparently my body internalized that and was like, oh yeah, so we don't need to catch all of the chronic illnesses, but we do at least need like a full Pokemon party, right? Like 6 is a good number, right? Which I never agreed to, but apparently I was not consulted. So yeah, it was rough. The nice thing is that 3 of them are 2 of them are definitely more or less under control. And like when one of those isn't under control, I know exactly why. Like it's usually I have made it so, like I know that I have done something to cause that one to flare. And then one of them flares very rarely. And I guess one of them is also relatively under control through medications. So really it's just the 2 that are the same ones that are probably the ones causing the issue over the last 2.5 weeks. It's really those two that are a problem. But yeah, there are 6 that I have to juggle on a daily basis. It's a lot. I mean, and in fairness, Major Tactics, a brain tumor is a lot by itself. So yeah, don't downplay that diagnosis. That's a lot. Yes, and V's very much good luck for tomorrow, and I'm super glad that that you're able to have that surgery rescheduled so quickly. That's really good. Hi, Jossie, welcome on in. Thank you so much for the 10 months. I know that Clara and Moon already showed us that it was 10 months, but I'm still like, I still feel like that's an absurd number. How has it been 10 months? Hey, Dan, welcome on in as well. I feel like I missed, you're talking about your wife's meds in the Discord. Now the doc said, okay, take it weekly rather than bi-weekly. Let's see if that makes it better. Yeah, medications can be really, I'm glad you enjoyed the Pokemon joke, Major Tactics. It's one that I've enjoyed quite a lot. There's a certain point when you have 6 chronic illnesses, you kind of have to just make fun of it because, because like, what else are you gonna do? Also, thank you for gifting a sub to Skulk Fees. And Skulk, if you're here, welcome on in. No pressure to chat if you don't want to, but welcome. Yeah. So hello. That's the gist. What am I thinking? Or what am I saying? Before we jump into the game, I did also want to say that part of the last 2.5 weeks, I have been feeling like, I mean, number one, there was the health stuff, but for those of you who've been around for a little bit, you know that I was kind of trialing a schedule where one week I would stream on Tuesday and Thursday, and then the next week I would stream on Tuesday and release a video on Thursday. I don't think that's viable. I don't think it's sustainable. I think my chronic illnesses are just saying nah. So what I'm gonna do instead is stream Tuesday, Thursday every week, or at least try to. Obviously, with 6 chronic illnesses, that may not happen, but the goal is to stream Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then the videos will get released as and when I'm able to do them. It doesn't mean that I'm not, I mean, I enjoy making the videos. I want you guys to have videos. But I don't want to put like a deadline on the videos, because generally what ends up happening is that I think I'm further along in completing the video than I actually am. And then I push myself to finish it before the deadline, and then I destroy myself for like the weekend or the next few days, and that's a problem. So I'm gonna have the videos happen when they happen, basically. And the streams, the goal for streams is Tuesdays and Thursdays. But that's what I'm thinking. We'll try that, see if that works. If it doesn't, there's a degree to which none of it might just work. We might not be able to get much of a semblance of a regular schedule just because chronic illness, but I can at least dream. I can try. You're happy if I'm happy. That's good. I'm happy if you guys are happy. So, you know, it's helpful. It goes both ways. Okay. Hang on, let me have a drink first, but, then I'm gonna hop into dig season because I got stuff to show you guys. Okay, so also that artwork, I haven't seen the artwork terribly often in streams because I've only streamed twice with the new artwork. I'm so happy with that artwork. I mean, I knew I was going to be because it's my twin and I know her style and her stuff and I know it's great, but at the same time, I love that artwork. It's just good. So this is the dig season world. I exist. You can see me. Hello. I do have a I should get out of F1. I was taking a screenshot to put on the YouTube community page. Okay, we're gonna ignore the prison that I've made for some chickens. Look, I needed to get books and quills this is not going to be a pacifist run. I'm sorry, Robert's Kitch, it can't be. It just can't. I'm going to be so sad at the amount of chickens I'm going to need to kill for feathers. But I also built a house. Here, I'm going to go sleep because I am on hard mode. And I do have keep inventory on because it's chronic illness, me, and it's the only thing that does is delay whatever we were in the middle of doing. that like not having keep inventory on, it just delays whatever we were gonna be doing. And it's a little miserable. So I'm not gonna, I know I'm running through my house. I will do a tour. Hang on just a second. Let's go back outside. Let me show you this house. I think you saw some of it at least. Had I finished building the whole outer structure? I don't remember. Not the chickens. I know, Moon, but there's no other way to get feathers in this game. And I need the books. It's very sad, because not only is it the chickens, it's the chickens and the squids and the cows. Shipwrecks are good for feathers. The problem is that the shipwrecks, I'm treating them like archaeological sites, so technically I shouldn't be using the materials from the shipwrecks. Is there a... Can you get feathers from villagers? Oh, see you later, Major Tactics. You are at... what time are we at? It is not telling me. Never mind. Oh, 20 minutes. Roughly 20 minutes in the stream. It was telling me. I'm just incapable of processing information. Just the... hang on. Just the first floor. Okay, cool. Plain villages chests. That is true. Okay, so I will do my best to find village chests and raid their stuff. Which is not very good archaeologist of me, but yeah, getting another CAT scan. Yeah, I hope that goes well for you, Major Tactics. I mean, obviously considering the circumstances, but I hope it's not too frustrating. Yeah, so I was playing with like a tower idea, just because it's a really pretty landscape and I wanted to be able to see it. And also I wanted to be able to see my building from far away. So it's helpful because like if I'm on like over there in the ocean, you just see this tower shape looming out of the distance. I'm like, oh, okay, I know that I'm heading the right direction. I'm almost there. So that's cool. I've also been playing a little bit with like textures on the outside of the building. So not just like under the roof, but on the walls and around the windows and things. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but I kind of like it. I feel like it works. You can get them from foxes sometimes. That's true if they spawn with one and you give them food. That's happened to you never. I was gonna say I don't know if I've had that happen before. There's a data pack you saw that makes chickens drop feathers. Ah, so you just have to take advantage of the squids beaching themselves. Artisy, that is really good to know. I will have to look for that because yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of murdering the animals. I do kind of like them, and yeah. And I also don't necessarily like, you can feed yourself really easily without the mobs, the passive mobs. So yeah, or at least relatively easily. Here, wait, is this gonna be are we getting it? No. Okay. I do still have, I took 16 of the eggs and I got 2 chickens out of them. It was great. It was wonderful RNG. So I have 16 more eggs, but I'm a little hesitant to to use them until I've actually got like a decent pen for these chickens. This is such a sad little pen. I also have one that's like similar for a couple of sheep, or a few sheep and a few cows. I need to build them a pen. But we're not gonna do that today. We're gonna document some sites. I also will just say I'm not super sure how I feel about the wheat field over here at the moment. Because it's kind of like in the way of getting down this hill out this direction. And at first I was like, oh, but I could put a staircase this way. And I could do that, but I don't know if I really want to do that. So I don't know. This wheat field might move, basically. I do also have a sugarcane thing over there, and then these trees they're probably going to move. They're just like, a certain amount of this is early game resource harvesting. so yes, and the cows and the sheep are they're just over this way. They're right here over in that. It's so sad. It's kind of pathetic. In fact, here, let me take this down so that I don't end up with like a creeper in there or something. Yeah, so but the house, I've been building the house because I have been playing on peaceful mode, and I don't like to do anything that would actually be dangerous on peaceful mode. The reason I play on peaceful is for when I'm having chronic illness days and the brain fog is high. I don't want a random creeper blowing up what I've just taken an hour to build. At the same time, I don't really like taking advantage of peaceful mode to go caving or something, if that makes sense, just because I like there being a little bit of challenge to it, and also because I feel like, for me, once I allow myself to go caving on peaceful, then I feel like there's less drive to go back to hard mode, if that makes sense. So I am on hard mode, but I was doing work around the building rather than going into the mines. I did go into the mines a little bit before I went on peaceful mode, but I haven't gone mining terribly much. But this is the house. Hang on, wait a minute. People have been chatting. Let me catch up to chat. You second the chicken feather idea, or data pack, as well as the wool one that unpacks it into string. Ah, that's true. I forgot that was a data pack and lets you smelt rotten flesh into leather. That's so good to know, Valkyrie Kiss. I'm gonna stumble on your name. I'm so sorry. I might just call you Valkyrie. But yes, I forgot those were data packs, because that's the wool to string one is the one that I always miss, because string is annoying. And I was getting a little sad earlier, like right before I started stream, because Valk is just fine. Okay, they're vanilla tweaks. Yeah, okay. For some reason, I always associate them with, well, they happen a lot in modded Minecraft, so I always associate them with mods, and I'm like, oh, okay, you can't do that in vanilla, but no, they're a data pack. Yeah, the wool to string thing is, I was getting a little sad because in my brain, the recipe for a brush was still the old one that involved string, and I was like, oh wait, no, that's different now, but it does involve a feather. So I haven't made a brush yet, but we will. So anyway, this is the house. It's not finished in terms of decoration yet. Some bits are better than others. Some bits are more finished. Are these the spawn chunks of the world? They're not. Wooden chicken dropping eggs so that you could hopper them in over time. Ah. I could do that. I could set up a hopper thing for chickens and eggs. Yeah, I could do that. I'd have to get the resources for it. I do feel a little bad, like, keeping the chickens on the hopper, though, because then they don't get to run around. And I've worked on farms. Oops, I always do that. I always put my hands in the wrong spot. I've worked on farms before, and like, I've seen things when chickens aren't allowed to roam, and it's depressing. And granted, that is not the common experience I've had on the farms that I've worked on, but in the ones that I worked on where it was the thing, I did not stay at that farm very long. So, yeah, hang on. Okay, 8 a.m. you may be awake, so it's morning. Mods data packs to turn rotten flesh into leather always make you feel like people are making Necronomicons or something. Yes. Custom crafting recipes are about the simplest data packs to make. Ah. Oh, that's true. Yeah, I forgot that you made data packs, Robert Sketch. Hello, Chuchato Pops. Welcome on in. Glad to see you too. Are you, Chuchato Pops, are you back in Durham now? Or are you still in Spain? You can use hopper minecart under the grass. Ah, that's true. That is true. A carpet on the hopper makes it nicer. I like the hopper minecart under the grass. Because I can also do is it a resource pack or a data pack? It's probably a data pack. The quieter minecarts situation. A few animal and quality of life data packs would resolve a lot of the issue. Yeah. Carpet on the hopper. Yeah, cool. Hello. Also, hello, Orc Boy. Welcome on in. Back at home. Oh, good. Went up to Durham last week to see everyone for a bit. Oh, cool. I'm glad that the move back has been relatively, well, I'm glad that it has been successful at this point. I shouldn't assume that it went smoothly, but I hope it did. Yeah, so many of your friends have graduated. I feel you there. In my final year of my bachelor's degree, all of my friends had graduated, or, well, not all of them, but like 90% of them had graduated the previous year. So that was rough. It was fine, but it was also rough. But yes, hello. Okay, so I made a little living room, and okay, number one, I appreciate that my parrot has a ledge, but number two, I need to register a complaint, and I'm gonna register it with you guys because I don't know that Mojang needs this as an actual complaint, but it turns out that parrots can't perch on hanging signs. And I feel like that is a travesty, because you could have a hanging sign sticking out from the wall and the parrot could be sitting on it and the sign could have their little name on it, but they can't land there. So it's so sad. So I tried for like 15 minutes to get this little bird up on a hanging sign, but it didn't work. So he's got a little ledge now instead, and a little ladder, and I'm gonna put some bookshelves down here. So, you know, he's still there and free and happy and whatever, but I'm sad that I'm sad that I can't put him on a hanging sign. I feel like you can't push it on. I don't think so. I was trying, and it wasn't. It just kind of, he kept falling off. So I was very sad. I'll keep trying off stream. I'll try again off stream. But yeah, that is right. I feel like that needs to be a bug fix in future versions. Thank you so much for the follow, Blazels. Let me know how to pronounce your name. Love the cherrywood doors. I know I'm a fan. I'm not normally a fan of pink. Pink is not a color that I enjoy. Generally, I'm far more of a purple and yellow fan, which I know is kind of odd, given that all of my branding is like green and like minty, cyan-y kind of stuff. I also like those colors. I like a lot of colors. Pink is not usually one of the colors that I enjoy, but I like the cherrywood, the pastel of it, like Blaze and Basil. Okay, yeah, it's confusing. Blazels. Yeah, I can do that. That works. Blazels. Welcome on in. Yeah, I really like the cherrywood in the new update. I also really like pairing it with dark oak. It just looks really nice. It looks really nice. I'm a fan of this color combination. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of some of the decorations, but you know, they're growing on me. It's an experiment. I was watching somebody else build some windows, and I was like, oh, I've never thought of building windows like that before, so I did. I also plan to have curtains eventually that are also eventually decorated, but dye is difficult to come by early game, so I only have so much bone meal, and that's why I don't have those. But I do have a little kitchen. It's got a smoker and a furnace, and yeah, ignore the amount of steak. I had to go leather hunting. We're gonna get a data pack. It's gonna be fine. And then there's a little balcony that I haven't done anything with yet, but they're gonna be like little seats and things. And then this. Okay, so this is my current storage, and I gave myself a desk and some chiseled bookshelves. Also, fun thing to note, you can put a book and quill in a chiseled bookshelf, and it comes back out as a book and quill. So for those of you who haven't explored that yet, that is a thing that you can do, which is really helpful for this world, this playthrough. Just stumbled upon my stream. I'm so glad that you're having fun watching. Thank you for coming on in. You don't think there's a collision hitbox for any sign? That's why so allowing one mob to interact would be a pain. No, that makes sense, Artisy. If it's, yeah, that sounds like it's they would have to totally change the code for one mob. Oh, that doesn't sound good. Neapolitan ice cream palette. That's true. I hadn't seen it that way, but now that you say it, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. That's amazing. Yeah, so there's this, and then this is basically just my personal storage. I figured, you know, I'll give myself a bunch of chests. There's nothing on this side. There's like one with a white banner, because I don't know, I was hoping that I could do something with a white banner, and then I couldn't, and I was like, right, okay, I'm gonna dump it there. I also have the capacity to put more chests, but I didn't want to block the windows, and I was like, I can always, you know, stick them up on the roof and everything, so, well, up towards the ceiling. So there's lots of storage here. So this is personal storage. This is stuff I can actually use. And then I have a field office. I have an archaeology office. This is my office. It's this makes me happier than it probably should, but there's I also this one is not functional. That's fine. I know, I'm aware. I don't care. It's for design purposes. It's a chest that just doesn't work. I could put a barrel there, but then this one wouldn't be able to open. I'm pretty sure it would need. I could be wrong about that. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I didn't actually test it and I can't genuinely remember. But yeah, so this is like a little office, and then through here we have collections. So, and I haven't put too many chests in here, but there's this that has all the stuff from the shipwreck that I forgot I was gonna treat like an archaeological thing, and then I threw it in here. Now, this is a question. I'm gonna let, actually, I might make a poll for this, okay? You can't wait for the collections to be filled in. I'm so excited about this office space. Like, yeah, I had like a brainstorm to make it this way, and I was like, oh my god, this is great. So yeah, it's been a thing I've wanted to share with you guys for like 2 weeks now. and I haven't been able to, but now I can. Okay, so I'm gonna make a poll, actually. So the gist is, for those of you who were here in the beginning of this, for those of you who were here the last time I streamed from this world, because that's the only time I've streamed from this world so far, you'll remember that I had gotten this stuff from the shipwreck, and then my Minecraft player brain was like, oh yeah, okay, well I could use some food. Let's use some of the wheat to make some bread and eat some food. And it was only later that my archaeologist brain was like, hang on a second. those are collections. So this chest should have 12 more wheat in it. But obviously I took those wheat and I turned them into bread, and so those wheat are gone. The question becomes, do I take 12 wheat that I have grown and put them in this chest because Minecraft sees them as functionally the same? Or would that be archaeological fraud? Basically. I mean, that's putting it into some extreme... Well, if you did that in reality, it would be a problem. But I'm going to make a poll. Here, let me do new poll. We're gonna do 2 wheat. Hang on, wait, no. We're gonna do 12 wheat or not 12 wheat. This is, again, this is more, hang on, I can spell, I'm a functioning human. Yeah, this is phrased as far more drastic than it actually is, because it's a Minecraft world. But there's a poll, it's up. 12 wheat or not 12 wheat? Yes, add the 12 wheat in, or no, that's fraud. Don't add the 12 wheat. I can always, the other thing is I can always put it in the book. Like if I don't add the 12 wheat in, I will just let you guys know that I can put it in one of these books for that site and just be like, there were also 12 other wheat and I was silly and crafted them into bread. You call fraud. Why not put the bread? Well, I ate the bread that I made. That's the problem, V's. I ate that bread is all gone. Fraud, but it's wheat. I know, right? You think it would be fraud? See, that's why I'm asking you guys, because I feel like it could go either way. Only a few loaves of bread, apparently. Yeah. You should name a piece of paper 12 wheat eaten by the archaeologist. Oh, I could do that. That's very true. I could do that. Oh my gosh. Item frames, because hang on, wait a minute. Item frames, pictures. Wait a minute. I missed a thing. Now you can edit signs, need something to label chest that lets you click on it and just open the chest. Yes, I agree. I very much agree. I love using picture frames, not necessarily on my chests because I do that. I do that and I continually end up, and it annoys me. But just in general, if I could put an item in an item frame and not have it rotate when I click on it, that would be amazing. Okay. The wheat can you use for test if you test if it's okay to eat. That is true. Ipastani, tell me how to pronounce your name, but welcome on in. And yes, that's very true. And it is a thing that archaeologists have done. Okay, not necessarily. Well, I was gonna say not necessarily with archaeological food, but that's not entirely true. Bog butter, for example, archaeologists have definitely tasted ancient bog butter before. I haven't, but others have. So it is what's kind of hilarious. Yeah, somehow 12 wheat disappeared. Weird. Yeah, it's more characteristic of archaeology than you might want to believe. Yeah, the paper. I enjoy the paper idea. I'm right. You made an assumption, so the bird should be able to sit on it. Oh, really? Okay. All right. I'll have to do some testing off camera. Only because I have other things that we can do today, so I don't want to spend like 20 minutes trying to get a parrot to sit on a perch. If we run out of stuff to do today, we can absolutely try and get the parrot on the perch. Otherwise, I will update you guys once I test it off screen, off camera. You voted fraud because it sounds funny to claim fraud in a Minecraft world. Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm not judging the reasons why you're choosing whichever option you're choosing. I enjoy that it's fraud in a Minecraft world where I'm the only person playing. but yeah. Also, hi, Sweet Potato. I saw that you were there and I realized I didn't actually say hello, but hello, Sweet Potato. Some bog butter on your shipwreck bread sounds like a great meal. I know, right? So, you know, it kind of works. And the fact that the wheat somehow hadn't been waterlogged for that long, I mean, that is a sturdy chest. Not gonna lie. The fact that you can get, like, maps that are perfectly fine and, like, food, it's impressive. It's impressive. Maybe Minecraft can add a feature to lock item frames. That's true. That is true, because you can do that with the armor stands, or armor statues. I always call it armor stands, but that's not what it is. The armor statues data pack, which is helpful, but then you have to do it for every single sign, well, every single item frame that you have. But that's not the worst. It's not the most tedious of things that happens in the armor statues data pack, basically. As far as monotony in the armor statues data pack goes, locking some item frames on your what am I saying? On your oh no, hang on. I'm realizing it might be dark out. It is dark out. Let's sleep. Because I am on hard mode. Let's hopefully that was the beginning of the night and not the end of the night. Let's go to my balcony and see. Let's go to my balcony and see. Are there mobs everywhere? No. Okay, we're fine. That's good. Helpful. Also, I want more of the, like, just the cherry blossoms. I want more petals floating through the air in Minecraft. I want those. I want all of them in all the colors so that I can color coordinate them with whatever scheme I'm using. I want more of this, please. Please, Minecraft. No, that's fraud. Okay, a lot of people are saying no, that's fraud. Out of curiosity, hang on, sorry, I have to click out of the window. Okay, it was like 2/3 of you said, 2/3-ish of the people who voted said it's fraud, and a third said just add the wheat. Okay, so what we'll do, I do like the I like the name a piece of paper idea. Where have I? Nope, I've put it here. There we go. That's a lot of my iron. I am not going to do that right this minute because that's like all of my iron. But we will do that. It is an IOU. You guys have witnessed. We will do it. It's gonna happen. There will be a piece of paper. In fact, you know what? I can actually let me put the piece of paper in the box, because that'll remind me. I mean, I know there's already I'm gonna put this here, and that'll hopefully remind me that I need to do that. Otherwise, feel free to remind me when I have more iron. If we run out of things to do in I know, right? No one said ever. Exactly. The Armor Stand book has a lot of options. It does. It does. Speaking of fraud, it feels like there's so many posts on the Minecraft subreddit asking whether some action or other is cheating if they do it in their game. Yeah, I'm very much of the camp that, like, the way that you play the game is the way that you play the game. Like, unless you're on a server or doing some kind of competition, like speedrunning or something, there's no such thing as cheating in Minecraft. It's a sandbox game. Oh, I haven't shown you guys this room. This is just like a nice little seating room that's at the top of the tower with some cherry cherry trees. There had been... okay, well, hang on. That had been there, because I was doing the decoration on the outside after I had made some of the decorations on the inside, so I had to take them down, and apparently I forgot to put some cherry logs back. So let's go put some cherry logs back where they're supposed to be. But yeah, it's just a nice little cherry blossom sitting room. Yeah, we'll do this, and then we'll do this. Yeah, there we go. Oops, I don't need to go. The ladder is also just into the attic. There's nothing in the attic at the moment, but like, if I feel the need to throw something here, I will. Also, I realized that you may have caught a glimpse of it. I put a door here so that when I eventually have an elytra, I can just fly up to this part of my house and go to bed instead of having to go all the way up the tower. Because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's a lot of having to run up and down these stairs. And while that's cute and fun, if it's like late at night and I'm trying to get rid of monsters or something, a quick entrance to the bed might be helpful. Hey, Mince, Quack, and Glam Pixie, welcome on in. I'm glad you enjoy the seating room. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi. About the only person to cheat in single player is themselves. Exactly. Yeah. And you can't. Yeah. I think some people, because there's a lot of, and this is okay. There's a little bit of a soapbox that I'm going to get on here because I'm a disabled gamer and chronically ill. And I think there's often a lot of, and it's getting better. People are starting to get better about this, or at least more people are aware that it's something that shouldn't be happening. But I think there's a certain amount of gatekeeping around like being a real gamer or playing a game the right way, quote unquote. And the thing is that if a mechanic exists in a game, then it's there to be used or not used by whoever wants to use it or not use it. Like, it's okay to go through something like Elden Ring and never wear any armor. Like, go for it. But you don't get to then sit there and say that anybody who uses armor in Elden Ring is not a true gamer or something. Like you're imposing your own rules on a game that has mechanics in it that are designed to be used. Game developers don't generally put stuff into a game that they don't want anybody to ever use because that's a waste of time. So yeah, when it comes to something like Minecraft, I think a lot of people get worried because a certain number of people have opinions about how to properly play Minecraft, and they forget that Minecraft is a sandbox game and you make your own rules. Like, there's a bit where the credits roll, but that doesn't mean it's the end of the game, you know? You determine what the game is and what you're gonna do in it. So I think, and especially with, it's one of the reasons why I like to highlight that I play with Keep Inventory on, because I think that's one of the biggest ones that people get worried about, of like, oh, if I play with Keep Inventory on, does that mean that I'm not really a true Minecrafter? And it's like, no, it just means that you don't feel like dealing with having to go find all your stuff because, you know, you ran into a silly death. Like, it's okay. Actually, let's get some bone meal. It's perfectly okay to just say, yeah, no, I don't really feel like dealing with that part of this game. Like, again, it wouldn't be a mechanic if they didn't want you to do it. And the same is true for anything. Like, you can play on easy mode, you can play on peaceful mode, you can play on hard mode. It's entirely up to you which mode you play on. And again, like, if you're on a server, obviously, the server is going to have rules, or if you're doing speedrunning, that's going to have rules. But otherwise, it's your game. So it really doesn't matter. Your single player will just keep inventory as well. You're so easily frustrated beyond all recognition and don't want that to happen in a game that you play only for relaxation. I agree. That's the other thing, is that, like, a lot of the time when I'm playing Minecraft or playing video games in general, I am always, whenever I take my hand off the keyboard, I will always end up accidentally opening my inventory. I very much am, if I'm playing a game, a lot of the time I'm chronically ill and my brain is not really working all that well. And for those of you who are chronically ill or disabled, you are probably very familiar with, or just, you know, have difficulty with something in general. You're probably very familiar with the sentiment that being reminded that you are disabled and chronically ill is frustrating as all get out. And it can really destroy any good feeling you had about the day. So the thing about Minecraft, I very much agree with Pixel Riffs when he said there is no good death in Minecraft, unless, like, it's possible that if you're on a server with a bunch of people, or like maybe there's a really funny way that you died, but like you can still have those moments with keep inventory. You don't need to lose your inventory for those moments to happen. And in terms of the inventory situation, it is an added factor that you can play with, but if you're just playing for fun and that makes it not fun, then turn it off. You know, use keep inventory. Or if keep inventory makes it not fun for you, then don't play with keep inventory. That's all. It's all perfectly fine. You've always found an idea of beating a sandbox game to be a curious one. Yes, I agree. Definitely not your type of Minecraft, even if it is for someone else. Yeah. And yes, Artisy, there's so many of those data packs and mods for graves and tombstones and tomb and such. Why not put keep inventory on since it's vanilla? Exactly. Yes, and that's like almost every mod pack. I mean, I shouldn't say every mod pack, but so many of them have the grave mods in some form or another. And yeah, if it's perfectly fine for that to happen in the mods, in mod packs, then why can't you just put it in vanilla? It's all fine. Keep inventory is not having to retrieve the stuff. Exactly. Graves is having to get it without it despawning, and default vanilla is stress. Yes, I agree. I really do want them to rename the, like, enable cheats to enable commands. I think that would be nicer, or come up with some other way of phrasing it. But yeah, I think sometimes people will just turn off the weather cycle because they just don't want to deal with it. For maybe they have a migraine and they don't want to have to listen to rain, or, you know, I mean, if you have a migraine, it might be difficult to play Minecraft anyway, but my migraines, I don't get the headaches or like the sensitivity to light. I get vertigo. So half the time I am playing Minecraft when I have a migraine, I don't really feel like dealing with rain. Sometimes I turn it off. And that's like an accessibility feature. I kind of wish that options were just identified as like options and accessibility features rather than, you know, identified as cheats and such. Okay. Switching gears is so hard for you if you're doing something and die and have to switch tasks, you just end up getting it. Yes. I agree, V's. I also get very frustrated when I'm in the middle of something and I've got all these thoughts about what it's going to be, and then all of a sudden I have to change tactic. Okay, it's going to be dark soon. Let me bring a bed with me. Actually, I need to bring a boat with me as well, because there's a thing I need to show you guys that I've been slowly gravitating towards, but I've also been on a soapbox, so you know how I get when I'm on a soapbox. I hope I don't get on a soapbox terribly often. I was about to say I don't do it too often. I was like, I don't know if that's true. Maybe I do sometimes. I just feel like let people play the game the way they want to play it. Like, unless it's like ranked or something, it doesn't really matter to me how somebody else plays Minecraft. Yeah, I think it's getting dark because of how dark it is. Yeah, it's yep. I said that. It was it's, yes. I'm so good. You're not bambooing? Oh no. Now I'm curious how many of these are well, it is the purpose of the quotes. Okay, I'm gonna grab a bed and a chest boat because okay, so one of these booking quills is gonna be just like a list of sites. Okay, so we're gonna do, or at least it's going to be volume 1, because obviously we're limited to 100 pages, because this is Java. If you're on Bedrock, I think you're limited to 50 pages, but we get twice as much space in books on Java, which is helpful. So we're going to do site. I'm going to call it a site record, but I don't like that so much, because a lot of the time we call a site record, like, is the paperwork for a specific site rather than a record of all the sites in an area. So I might change the title, but this is basically gonna be sites. So I'm gonna have to teach myself to not click the sign button. That's gonna be difficult. We might have a few books that that get sacrificed accidentally. Okay, so the reason I wanted to show you guys something is because when I was looking for, I ended up looking for a village out this direction and finding almost nothing, because apparently the villages are all back that way, which is frustrating. And I went down into, ooh, can I make it? I probably can, right? If not, I'll just respawn right there. So I'm gonna do it. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I did effectively that. I jumped in here. And it turns out that we have a shipwreck, like literally right here. My house is there. There's a shipwreck right here. So I'm gonna put the, I'm gonna stand in my boat, but there's a shipwreck. So yeah, I was just traveling, and all of a sudden there was a shipwreck, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay. So so yeah, a site record implies that the site was previously corded, but then got decorded somehow. Well done, Robert Skitch. I appreciate that. Site catalog, yeah. Site catalogs can also be like a catalog of the stuff at a site, but it could, catalog is better. Catalog is definitely better. Is it this one I'm writing in? Yeah, let's change it to catalog for now, because that is better. I can, especially because if it's a site catalog and I acquire a cat, the cat can be in charge of the paperwork in the office, and then it's a site catalog. So that has to happen now, because it does. Okay, so we have this ship, and hello, Astramana Weaver, welcome on in. We are a fact of the day. Sure, I'll take a fact of the day. I'm happy with facts of the day. Or site archive. Ooh, site archive could work. Mm-hmm. What? My hands were not on the keys? I was just did a dolphin push me off? Kentucky is the only US state to start with K. I know that that's not true, and I'm curious what the joke is. Cause Kansas starts with K. Don't fall for it? Okay, well, sorry. Oh dear. Okay, some of you know what this is. Okay. Well, I'm not sure that joke makes too much sense with that punchline. And also, that's not really appropriate for what we're doing. So, yeah, yeah. I get it, but I don't approve. Okay, so we're gonna, moving on, moving to interesting things. We're gonna do stuff with this shipwreck. So, what I want to do first is, hang on, let me get a door. Come on, here we go. Can you, come on, hello. Can we sit in a door? Okay, this is very dark for you guys, I'm realizing. I don't know that I have a way to resolve that. Let me see if have I got this on bright? No, I do, okay. All right, this is the brightest it gets, you guys, I'm sorry. So what I'm gonna do is, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna use Lightmatica to do some geophys. So for those of you who maybe haven't caught videos or streams or things, geophys is short for geophysical survey. Yeah, I don't have night vision, I know, I'm sorry. Oh, well, it's... oh, there's like that one magical moment. No, I don't know if we can kind of do it that way. Yeah. Okay, so geophysical survey is basically something that archaeologists do to find out what's in the ground without actually digging anything. And it can involve sending electrical pulses into the ground or sending, like testing the magnetic response of the ground over a lot of different points over an entire area, and the difference in the readings can give us like a picture of what's under there without us necessarily having to dig anything. It doesn't work for everything. Some stuff, I mean, everything does have like a magnetic response, either a positive one or a negative one, like either they're very magnetic or they're very not magnetic kind of thing, or somewhere in between. But effectively, not everything has a different magnetic response to the stuff that's around it, for example. So you can't always see stuff with geophysical survey, but you can often see stuff. And the one that we can vaguely do in Minecraft, and this is a mod, but the one that we can vaguely do is called ground penetrating radar, which is a lovely name. And yes, archaeologists are well aware of what it sounds like. But yeah, so basically it's shooting... how do I describe this? Effectively, it's shooting electromagnetic pulses into the ground and then measuring how long it takes those to return to the sensor, effectively. So it's a lot like laser scanning, which is the same thing. It's just firing lasers. So it fires light, which is all lasers are, directly down, and then it measures how long it takes to come back. And it's we only don't see anything, I know, right? But yeah, like sonar as well. You can also use sonar in a similar way. So the nice thing about ground penetrating radar is that it can give us like a 3-dimensional view of what's underground. And we can also do it here underwater. So we're really using Lightmatica also as as kind of sonar. But yeah, okay. So what I want to do basically, and this is something you guys can do as well if you have Lightmatica installed. So I'm going to show you how to do this. I kind of showed how to do it in my last video, but I kind of glossed over, like I went super speedy through it because I didn't want to spend so much time on exactly how to do it. So I'll show you how to do it. Let's see. Effectively, we want to get like here. Oh, no, hang on. Here-ish. Here, let's get up to the surface because the difficulty is going to be breathing. The difficulty is going to be breathing. Okay, so in Lightmatica, if you say M, all right, well, it works. It's a thing. And then you go to area editor and you go corner 1 and you go move to player. Okay. That'll bring corner 1 over to me. Now you can do this by like, I can click on this and I can, if I hold Alt, I can scroll and it'll go down. If I go this way, it'll scroll this way. If I go this way, it'll scroll that way. So you can do it as well by holding on to the corner and just kind of repositioning it. But if you're in the water, that's a little bit difficult to do. So you can do it with the area editor as well. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. I'm going to come down this direction. About here. This is probably a little bit too much. I probably don't need all of this space. No, let's stay where we're actually in the water. And then we go to corner 2 and we say move to player. Okay, so now we've got a selection. We're going to name the selection. I'm just going to call it shipwreck number 2. There is a redemption with channel points to name these sites if you want. But for now, we're going to call it shipwreck 2. Subregion. Oh, I love how I clicked on subregion and it deleted the other thing. That's fun. Shipwreck number 2. We're gonna, okay. Shipwreck number 2. Apparently it just doesn't want to type in there. That's fine. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to, firstly, I'm gonna have a look at this area that we've got, because we could probably move the selection box up a little bit. So if we click this one and we do Alt and we go up, maybe like 5. Nope, too many. So if we go down, let's go down 2 so that we're still catching. I know that's a little bit like it's 1 further than we necessarily need, but I'd rather have a little bit of buffer. Okay, and then if we go and take our door and we go up to this one, we can bring it down a bit. Nope. And you can select the corner by middle clicking it. And then if we go right up here and then we do Alt and we scroll down until we start to see the ship kind of coming through our selection. Okay. Oh, we need to sleep. Hang on. Let's get to shore and sleep so that I don't spawn too many creepers. I won't go all the way back to my house when we need to sleep, because even though it's not that far, it's a hill and I don't really want to. So, okay. So now we've got our selection, right? And it's our nice little shipwreck. And is it encompassing this bit? Yes, it is. Okay, cool. So now we're going to go on to our boat so that we don't have to deal with drowning. Not a hill I want to die on. Exactly, Sheepscalibur. Okay, so now we've got the selection. We're going to hit M again. And we're going to go to, we're just going to go to area editor because you can save schematic from here. Oh, I didn't click set. This is when you learn that I forget steps half the time, and it all works. Okay, so shipwreck 2, we'll just call it shipwreck 2. We're gonna save the schematic. You can do visible blocks only. I'm not gonna worry about that just because there might be some blocks inside the ship that aren't necessarily visible, but that I would want to know are there anyway. You can also tell it to ignore entities as well. That will include any blocks that are entities in addition to mobs and such, though. So just be aware of that. So I'm gonna leave it the way that it is and say save schematic, and then we're gonna X out of this. And we're going to go to load schematics. And now you can just select your schematic. You can look at a material list. It'll create a material list for you if you want to build this. That's not what we're going to be doing. But we can load schematics and it's going to create a placement for the schematic. So we can see that we're in it right now. And we are going to, hang on. Where are we at? Schematic placement. We're going to bring it up a little bit. Okay, let's get it on so that we can kind of zoom around. Now, you can't see anything at the moment, so you might be thinking, ArchaeoPlays, how is this useful? If you hit M and you go to configuration and you go to visuals, okay, the enable schematic rendering will turn the entire thing off. So if you've got a schematic up and you're building it and then you have to go get some more resources and you don't want all of the colors in your face, you can just turn off schematic rendering. Here, the area selection boxes rendering, that's turning off the box that we've got around the actual ship. And then placement box rendering, that's the box around our schematic placement, right? You can see the box going in and out. I'm gonna bring those, well, actually, I'll keep that. Enable schematic blocks rendering. If you take that out, it's got you can see the edges of the water, for example, that'll take that out so that basically you can't tell what each block is necessarily. And then enable schematic overlay is the big one, because that takes all of the colors away and just gives you the model of whatever it is that your schematic is of. So I'm going to sit in, oh no, hang on. I'm going to sit in my boat. So we can move through this schematic basically. And we can see that there's a chest there. You can't, like in the schematic, you can't look at what's in the chest. But if we had stuck this on land, we could go and then walk around this schematic and see what's here. right? So this is basically a 3D model. I mean, it's not even basically, it is a 3D model of the shipwreck that we've got without having to sit there and, you know, do a whole bunch of mapping underwater without water breathing potions and night vision sort of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this schematic over to some flatter land. And I say this, I live in hills, so flat land is not necessarily something we're going to be able to do super well. But you know what? Let's bring it over here. Okay. So it's kind of clipping through the ground a little bit, but you can walk through and see the bottom layer. You can go up and see the top. Well, the captain's cabin quarters thing. But these are not full blocks, like they're just projected there, so you can't like physically walk up the stairs, but you could bring scaffolding up and have a look. And it still has the door that I placed so that I could breathe down there. So yeah, so this is a fun thing to be able to do, and it's really useful for us because it means that I don't have to sit here mapping. Like, we don't have to sit here mapping all of this by hand. We can do it in Lightmatica and save schematics. Doesn't mean we won't ever do anything by hand. It just means that we don't have to necessarily. So, timers might not be behaving today. Oh, that's true. It doesn't look like they are. But yes, there is. I do have a Discord. There is a Discord. Here, let me. Thank you, Artisy, for doing the Discord, and for Clara for doing the socials. I do also have a YouTube channel. I'll put that in as well. And welcome on in, Legumalas. It's good to see you. So yeah, feel free to. It does look like the timers aren't really doing much today, which is unfortunate. So the cool thing here is that basically this means we have a 3D model of this shipwreck. And we're calling it shipwreck number 2. I know site catalog, we have shipwreck number 1. Shipwreck number 1. I'll just call it shipwreck 1. I will get the coordinates for that. They're on the chest that's in my finds office. But we'll do shipwreck 2. And then we'll get coordinates for this as well. So probably what I'll do is go... I do wish that you could, like, stop the water on the outside of it. If I could take the water away and leave the ship inside, that would be cool, but you can't do that. So unfortunately. You'll try to be the timers for today. Thank you, Clara, but also don't worry about it if it gets too complicated. It's all perfectly fine. Okay, so what we're gonna do, and I am aware that we're at the hour, so we're basically coming up on a break. I take a break every hour just for people to kind of stretch, get some water, get something like some snacks, take medication if you need to take it, that kind of thing. I am going to get coordinates. Where do I want the coordinates to be? So the thing about getting coordinates for a site is that we want them to be somewhere that's identifiable. So a lot of the time we'll take a GPS reading of the like something memorable at the site, like the corners of a site, for example. If you've got a building and it's a square building, then you might take the GPS coordinates of like the northwestern corner and the southeastern corner, for example. For this, we could do the northernmost part of the boat, or I'm saying northern, oh yeah, okay, good. I'm glad. Sometimes I get my directions confused in Minecraft. But yeah, oh, you bought Welsh cakes yesterday. That's good. That's a good snack. Okay. So what we could do is we could do the coordinates of like the northernmost topmost point. So what I'm going to do is, and that's going to be our targeted block. So it's -876 45 1807. I'm going to take a screenshot of that before I nope, excuse me. I was going to say, if I perish because I couldn't navigate around a door, that would be unfortunate. Okay, so we have N was, oh gosh, I do not remember the numbers. It was -8 something. Hang on. Let me go get the screenshot. Let me just get the screenshot. The difficulty of not having water breathing potions. There will be a point where we do have water breathing potions, and this will be a lot simpler. Oh look, the bot decided it would start doing its job now that you said you take over. See, I love how bots do that. You just have to insult them once or twice, and they're like, I'm good at my job. And you're like, yeah, good. That's what we wanted you to do your job. Okay, -8. Nope, hang on. 876. And then 45, and then 1807. And then we're gonna say southernmost point. Ooh, actually, this is not, let's do this. No, let's hit the correct keys. I can do this. Don't hit sign. Okay, southernmost point. Oh, is like here. F3. Okay. I'm gonna, nope, hang on. Let's go to this door. Which is good, because we'll get the stuff out of the chests as well. But let me just quickly get those coordinates, which are -876, 37, and the Y level is less important here, but it does matter if we start ending up going to like ancient cities and things. Those are obviously going to be significantly lower down, or like abandoned mine shafts and stuff like that. 1822, and we do always take the equivalent of the Y level in real life. You always take all 3 measurements basically, as much as you can. Okay, done. Let's do that. I am not gonna do a sign the book thing accidentally. Definitely not. Nope, nuh-uh. Okay, now, there is a chest over here. How do I want to do this? Where is... Okay, I'm gonna use this other book for this shipwreck. Oh, no, hang on. Let's do... okay, well... Let's, I'm not gonna worry too much about like where objects are placed in a chest unless we decide in the future that that could be really interesting. I don't think it's gonna be, I think it's gonna drive us up a wall, basically. So yeah, it's not work lurking, so no excuses for stream elements. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about the fact that these are in a specific orientation unless we decide eventually that that's actually interesting. I think marking that down is going to be difficult to do, and it's going to make a lot of these streams just a lot of paperwork. and a lot of archaeology is a lot of paperwork. But again, like I want these to be interesting and fun for you all. So we are going to just do that. They should add a protect toggle to books that stops you from accidentally signing it or something. I know, right? Because I will eventually train myself not to do that, but we'll see how many books get sacrificed in the process. Okay, so 12 bits of paper and a buried treasure map. That is at these coordinates. Okay, -877, 39, 18, 16. -877, 39, 18, 16. Okay. Chest. 1 buried treasure map. I can spell. And 12 pieces of paper. I didn't do this for the previous shipwreck in terms of what's in each chest, but we can kind of retcon it based on where the chests spawn, basically. But yeah, let's pretend in game that we don't know where each of these chests always are. Okay, we're gonna do this. Let's do shipwreck 2. I might change the organization of these notes, but for now I'm just going to kind of write them out verbatim because we're underwater and that's how it's going to go. Or just put the sign button somewhere that's not right next to the other one. I know, right? Especially because the other one is done. And to me, done is the same thing as sign. So like my brain is like, but I'm not done either though. Okay, I'm not going to take this boat. I'm not going to take this door because the door is part of the ship. Now, the interesting thing is gonna be... Okay, good. All right. I was gonna say, the interesting thing is gonna be getting to all of the chests. Now, we do only have half a boat, so we should only have 2 chests. I'm assuming. Is there not a chest in here? Oh no, it is. It's just behind it. Okay, all right. It's just hiding. We only have 2 chests, but that's still pretty good. We'll still figure out what these are. Okay, all right. So super quick, what is this? Negative 878, 41, 18, 10. Nope, 878, 41, 18, 10. I know what I'm doing. F3. Let's get over here. Okay, negative 878, 41, 18, 10. 41 makes sense. It wouldn't be 31. Is it really only 2 blocks higher than the other one? Really? Is it only 2 blocks higher? Are the chests only 2 blocks apart? That feels like, in terms of Y level, obviously, they're not necessarily like, well, they're not right on top of each other, but they're close enough to being right on top of each other. I didn't realize they were only two like Y levels apart. Perhaps there should be a step for signed that makes you type your username in to confirm or something. Yeah, or like are you sure you want to complete this book? That would also be good. Okay, chest. In this chest, okay, let's see. Oh, that was a problem. I knew that was a problem as I was doing it, and I didn't stop myself in time. Did anybody catch how many iron I had? I had 36. I remember I had 36 because with the yeah, 6 ingots. Cool. Thank you. I was like, wait a minute. I remember 36 because I was debating making an anvil, and I was like, that's going to take all of my iron. And I remember thinking, oh, I have enough for the blocks in my inventory, but yeah. Okay. Okay. So 6 ingots, 7 nuggets, and 7 lapis. That's an even number. 6 iron ingots, 6 iron nuggets, and then, no, 7 of those. Hang on. 7 of those, and then 7, no. And then 7 lapis. So 6, 7, and 7. That is interesting. Those are very even numbers. If we were seeing that in archaeology, we'd be like, huh, I wonder if there's meaning behind that. Also, I love how I was like, I like to take a break every hour, and then I immediately forgot about taking a break every hour. But it's okay. We got the chests. We're gonna come back up to our boat, wherever I put my boat. Where did I put my boat? I don't know where my boat is. Did I? Oh, there it is. I'm just incapable of seeing things. It's fine. I'm observant. I'm an archaeologist. I look for stuff. Okay, there is a decent chance that there are mobs places, but that's fine. So on that note, yeah, I think it is interesting. I think we should probably try to find the buried treasure as well, if we're relatively near to it. Because the buried treasure is associated with this shipwreck now, right? So because the shipwreck has the map to the buried treasure, the shipwreck either buried the treasure themselves or knew about the buried treasure and were potentially trying to find it, which is interesting. The 6, 7, 7, the 6 iron ingots, the 7 iron nuggets, and the 7 lapis is, like, I know that probably feels weird to be latching onto, but the number is interesting for it to be a similar number all in the same spot. So one of the things that's really great about the shipwrecks, and also things that just have like the chests, is that we get artifacts that are associated with each other. And what associated means is basically just found in the same spot. So they're found in the same context, in the same location. So like these chests, the 6 iron nuggets, the 6 iron ingots, 7 iron nuggets, and 7 lapis, they're all associated with each other because they were found in the same chest. That doesn't mean that they were all put in the chest at the same time. necessarily. It could be something where, say, there were, you know, the iron ingots and the lapis, and then somebody, maybe after the shipwreck, somebody then put the 7 iron nuggets in or something, like dove in there or something. Why they would do that is an excellent question. People do stuff that seems a little odd all the time. A lot of the time, stuff like if somebody is putting objects into a container that already has objects in it from like way far in the past, like a container that they don't necessarily own that's in something like a shipwreck where it's clear that this is like not going to be used. A lot of the time that's like spiritual or has a certain amount of meaning for the person. They might often put something in as an offering or something like that. Or they might do something to ritually close the site. That's a term that we use a certain amount, where basically it means like, and I think I might have brought this up on stream before. I can't actually remember. But basically, if you say you're moving out of your house, right? You may leave a little note for the next person coming in, or you may leave something like kind of buried in the back garden or something. That's a way of you kind of closing off your relationship with the house, so that you can then move on to the new house, right? It's kind of like giving closure to the time that you spent in your house that you're moving out of. And people do this all over the place, all across the world in so many different ways, and they've done it across time. It's like, this is a really common things falling into the category of closing a site ritually or spiritually or you know, whatever adjective you want to apply to it is incredibly common and across time and space. And by space I generally mean the Earth, because we don't know, but even then, like, the whole moon landing was very ritualized. So actually, across time and space, there are ways that humans have of kind of closing down their story in a particular location. And so it's possible that something in these chests is something like that. It's also possible that it's not, that they all got buried at the same time. If we were looking at it in person, we'd be able to tell if the chests had been opened since they ended up underwater, or we would be able to guess at least, or if the chests had been opened more recently than the shipwreck had occurred. If it's like a few days later, that might be difficult to tell, but if it's been like a decade, for example, then you can kind of tell if somebody's messed with something. The ways in which the interaction kind of gets left on the chest, like the markings that it leaves or that it would leave, they end up being distinct from other markings simply because they're not as old, right? So they haven't had as much time to wear away, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. It's something we can probably demonstrate with like, I don't know if we can demonstrate it in Minecraft necessarily, but like if you think of a piece of pottery, right? So say you have like a piece of pottery, a sherd that you found in your garden while you're digging up, you know, a plot for tomatoes or something, and you find a bit of pottery. If you then took that pottery and broke it, right, then the place where you break it is going to be very different to the edges of the pottery where it broke in the past before it became buried in your garden, right? So you would be able to tell, oh, right, that is a fresh break, the one that I did, versus the ones that are older. And that's a really easy example, but it's something that we see with, like, you can see it with things like hinges or locks, or the ways that like something with a lid is opening or closing. If there's wear around that lid, you can start to kind of separate out when all of that happened. Okay, I said we were going to take a break like half an hour ago, and I totally failed to do the whole make like a book on a sign to sign it. Yes, Robert Skitch. Yes. So let's take a break. Let's do like it's going to be a 5-minute break. I am going to run an ad, but don't worry, you're not missing anything. The ads do support the channel. So, but also you don't have to watch them. You can, during the break, grab something to drink, grab a snack, take some medications. If this time of day for you, wherever you are, is a time of day when you should be taking medications, reminder to take those medications. And yeah, we'll be back in like 5 minutes. Okay, I'll see you guys. 5 minutes. Sorry about that, guys. I realized that I hadn't added my twin to the art command. I think I just posted it last time. So yes, the art command is formatting a little weirdly, but you can find her on Twitter. She does a lot of pixel art, but also a lot of like painting and sketching and things, although she's mainly a pixel artist at this point, but like she's very talented. And I am biased, she is my twin, but I really love her artwork, and I love what she's done for the transition screens. And I saw, actually, hang on, let me go to chatting. Hang on. I saw that you were wanting to see them a little bit longer. Do you guys, I can pull them up. Hang on. Let me find them. Yes. Okay. So I can do this. We can do this. I can show you guys. Let's do image. I'll do this. Okay. And do, if OBS decides it wants to behave. There we go. It was bugging out a little bit. Okay. So image number 1 is this one. Here, I'll make it bigger. Hang on. There we go. Here, I can put this. Hold on. While I reorganize things, I can do this. I'm a functioning human. Oh gosh. Okay, well, there we go. Yeah, so she doesn't normally do like Minecraft-y themed art, so it wasn't a challenge necessarily, but it was a difference from their normal art style. Hello, Evil Shadow, welcome on in. I'm gushing about my twin's artwork for my transition screens because I love it so much. I bugged my twin a while back to do some. Yeah, she also posted them on Twitter. Yes, and I just really like them, so I'm just showing them. So this one is meant to be like the first thing in time, and it's like people. It's similar to the transition screens I had before, but I'm not an artist. I mean, I can't. Not in that way. I made stuff that functioned, but I am not this kind of artist, okay? This is way better than anything I could ever do. And my twin, like, she's always been an artist. It's like, she has always been very good at art. So yeah, and it's been so long since I've gotten originals from her, so I'm really excited to have 3 of them. So this is like the first image in time. I like that there is a sheep. There's a sheep in all of these images. It's kind of great. And yeah, so like people telling stories around a fire. And then let me show you the second one. This is the second image. And this one, oh, hang on. This one is hold on. It's a little. For some reason, this one is a different size than the other ones. So, and this one is a person weaving. So the loom that they have, this is a loom, and then these are stones that have holes in them. They're called loom weights. And throughout much of history, that was how looms were tight, like how you could get the tight strings on a loom is just basically tying weights to both ends of the string and then draping it over the frame. And then this bar here, basically you can attach different strings to the bar, and then when you pull the bar or push the bar, it'll help you make different patterns when you're weaving. So it's really, really cool. I really like it. I also really like the style of the house. It just works really well. There is also a sheep, which is great with the weaving anyway, but there's a sheep in every single one of these. There is sheep continuity in the images, and you can see that underneath the woman, well, I shouldn't say woman. That's making an assumption, but they have longer sort of skirt-like things on, dress-like, skirt-like things. The person who is there, underneath the weaver, you have the remains of the campfire. This is not the remains of the people at the campfire. It's just the remains of the campfire. Don't you worry. But yeah, it's basically showing that, you know, this is the same site, but it's further in time, further closer to us in time, basically. So yeah, I love the sheep continuity. As far as I'm aware, Naomi also really loves the sheep continuity. I think it's great. It makes me so happy. And then the third image is this one. And so this is me, and I'm excavating the house, and you can see the loom weights down here, and then the remains from the campfire. So it's like, it's just going further and further in time to us. And also the sheep is still here, and the sheep approves. Yes, I agree. I really love the sheep continuity. The only thing, and I'm only going to say this for the archaeologists who might be watching, because I love this artwork. The only thing I'm just going to say is I am aware, fellow archaeologists, that leaning a shovel up against, or a spade up against the trench wall is not the best of ideas, but stop. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's art. It's art, and it's Minecraft. It's not. Just before anybody actuallys me in any of this, I adore this artwork. It makes me so happy. Sheep is part of the, yeah, this sheep has seen some things, right? I know that technically you can think of this as multiple sheep from multiple generations, but in my head canon, this is the same sheep. It's like a Doctor Who sheep. It is a time-traveling sheep. And/or an immortal sheep. Sheep is part of the archaeology. Yeah. Archaeology is the friends we made along the way. I love that quote. That's such a good one. Yeah, the sheep is the main character and we're living in its world. I agree, Evil Shadow. So yeah, so I love it. Massively old sheep. I know, right? But also, sheep don't live that long, but I used to work at a maritime museum, so a museum that had a lot of ships and boats, and we taught people a lot about the whaling industry because it was a big industry for like a century. There are whales alive today who were alive when the whaling industry was at its height in the like mid to late 1800s. So like sheep don't live that long, but there are lots of animals in this world that live far longer than humans and have seen a lot, like turtles. So I enjoy the idea of a fairly immortal sheep. And, you know, it could be something else that's just, you know, disguising itself as a sheep, or that, you know, was, I don't know, like some fey creature or something that just feels most at home in sheep form. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of fun headcanons to create about the sheep. I'm a fan of sheep. I'm a fan of sheep in general, but I really like the sheep in this artwork. So anyway, so yeah, so that's the artwork. It's cool. Yeah, my twin is also making her own video game. It's she's doing it in her free time, so there's only it's gonna be a while, but if you follow her on Twitter, they post updates about it regularly because they do the artwork to relax. So so if you like pixel art, absolutely follow her, and also the people that she follows. She retweets a lot of pixel artists as well, so it's really cool. To use sheep doesn't seem like a real word anymore. Isn't it weird? This happens all the time to everybody, right? That like if you think of a word long enough, it just doesn't feel like a real word anymore. I just have a very distinct memory of when I was like, I don't know, 9 years old or something. And that happened to me for the name Steven. For some reason, my brain just was like, how is that a name? And I knew like 4 Stevens. It wasn't even like it was unusual for where I was. It was just one of those moments where like, this doesn't feel like a real word anymore. And it was. So yeah, I remember being in like the back seat of my mom's car, just being like, Steven, how is that? What? So yeah. Yeah, donut tangents, all the donut tangents. Okay, all right. Speaking of donut tangents, or at least attempting to do something, something outside of donut tangents. We do have these finds, which is good. I think we should put them up in the... Every time I see this, I feel my brain is like, oh no, I'm gonna get it flooded. But no, that's not how that works. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring the finds from the shipwreck, except for the buried treasure map. I'm gonna bring them all up to the house and put the ones that we don't need into a chest for the shipwreck. And we'll also get the coordinates of the other shipwreck, because I feel like... well, what I mean is we'll get the coordinates... what do I mean? We'll get the coordinates from the chest where I wrote them down. If, in our search for this buried treasure, from this buried treasure map, we find the previous shipwreck, then I might do like a Lightmatica schematic of it and get the coordinates for the chests. Otherwise, I will just do that off camera. I won't worry too much about it. Just because we've kind of... Hello, sir. You know, like, you can, if you want to chill in my bedroom, that's, it's not something I usually offer to strangers in my house, but, I don't really feel like I'm terribly equipped to deal with an Enderman right now, and, you know, you're not gonna hurt me yet, so, it's fine. Okay, shipwreck number 1, it would have helped if I had looked. Okay, it's -701. Hang on. We don't have... Okay, well, we'll do this for now. -701, comma, 62, comma, 527. Okay, we'll do that for now. Don't sign the book. Don't sign the book. Okay, that is going to be the 12 extra wheat. We're going to put these ones in a new thing. We're going to... I need signs. I don't have any in here, do I? You can tell that I have planned some things, and then I haven't planned some other things. Signs? Signs. Cool. Okay. Okay. All right. So this is going to be shipwreck number 2. Shipwreck 2. Shipwreck 2 is underneath shipwreck 1. It's going to annoy some of you. And oh boy, if you could just see some collection rooms and their numbering systems and their organizing systems. I don't remember what the coordinates are. Hang on. Let's go from the... Oh, wrong book. Wrong book. Let's go from... Let's just take the northern one. So -876, 45... Okay. 876, 45, 1807. Okay. -876, 45, 1807. All right. Done. I love that we can edit signs now. That is such a game changer. It is such a game changer. Also, this is gonna annoy people, so hang on. Let me... And by people, I mean me. It's gonna annoy me as well. Let's do this. Okay, done. That way they're formatted the same way, because otherwise it was gonna be a problem. This is by far one of your favorite of this batch of updates. Yeah, editing signs, being able to write on both sides of them, that's also such a game changer. There's so much stuff in this update that I love. I love a lot of the updates. I feel like this one is my favorite. It's probably no surprise that this is my favorite because, let's be honest, there's archaeology in it and I'm an archaeologist and like, it's kind of obvious. But I really like it. Okay, let's see. So we know that this buried treasure map, this one here, is coming from shipwreck number 2. So let's see. But then... Okay, so now I'm not... This is why I was a little confused, because when I had the map, right? It doesn't have anything on it. Am I being silly? Am I forgetting something? Am I just, is this chronic illness brain just feeling like this isn't gonna work? Shouldn't I, if I'm holding it, shouldn't I be able to see it? Very happy with sign editing and being able to lock them as well. Yes, that as well. I feel like this is just an empty map. Some buried treasure maps are broken. Okay, so this isn't an actual, I won't be able to see any buried treasure. This is a map. Right? Or if I left click, will it show me the buried treasure bit? Not sure what caused it. So should I not left click, should I right click or no? Or what will happen if I right click? Will it just map this area? I'll wait until somebody with knowledge. I don't want to ruin the map. If you can't see it holding it, it's an empty map. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay, occasionally they're blank because the treasures didn't generate close enough. Ah, well, I like that though. In a way, I mean, it means that we don't have treasure to go hunting for, which is unfortunate, but I like the idea, because it is still tagged as a buried treasure map, I kind of like the idea that this is a buried treasure map that they started and then they didn't finish it. so they were on their way to go bury some treasure, and then they shipwrecked before they could really fill in the details. I kind of like that narrative a lot. Oh no, that's the site catalog. Hang on. This is the downside, is keeping track of all these booking quills. Okay, so I like this. Buried treasure map is blank. Probably. I was about to say probs, and I was like, I probably shouldn't just put random slang words in this, but I could. It just means that other archaeologists would have difficulty understanding it, but that's fine. Probably on their way to bury it? Question. It would help if I could spell treasure map correctly. Okay, done. So, shipwreck 2. I'm gonna put this in with the shipwreck box so that there's, oh gosh, I might have to sneeze, hang on. Sorry, excuse me. I was a little nervous that if I said I was gonna sneeze that it was immediately gonna be... See, and this one also has a blank buried treasure map. So we have multiple shipwrecks that were on their way to bury treasure and failed. You have to run because of hospital shenanigans. So have a good rest of your stream. No worries, V's. You're at 1 hour and 53 minutes if you want to hop back into the VOD. You're an hour 53. But I hope hospital stuff goes well. My sneeze coincided with the Enderman boop. Did it? That's amazing. I feel like I should clip that. Okay, so we don't actually have buried treasure to go and find. So what should we do? It is almost 3. I do generally end at 3. I know we had a break, like we just had a break, and it's relatively soon after the break. If I fall asleep, I'm not gonna be, just don't be standing somewhere I can stare at your face when I fall asleep. This feels, no. This is not gonna go well, guys. It's not gonna, I don't want to. It's not gonna go well. I don't want to. I'm so sorry. And you can't, if they're in boats, does it get rid of it? If they're in boats, do they count as neutralized? Can you sleep if they're in a boat near you? No? Okay, alright. Well, I'm sorry, Enderman. But, I'm sorry. I know, I'm sorry, but I need to sleep. For the protection of my sheep. That's so sad that it dropped the block. It dropped his block. That's sad. Okay, well... See... Aw. Man, I wish that Enderman didn't count as, like, hostile for sleeping purposes if they haven't been provoked. I'm gonna put the grass block over here because it's gonna make me sad if I carry it around, but I also am feeling like I should preserve it somehow. A gift from our fallen soldier. Yeah, free block, yay. Yes. Could have poured water on the floor. Oh, that's true, and he would have to run away. That is true. That is a good point, Artisy. I did not think of that. That is a good point. Because he would have whooped somewhere. I suppose, but then he would have whooped to, like, the floor above or below, probably. It might have worked. You think you clipped it, but you never clipped things. Yeah, we can, somebody can let you know if the clip worked. Okay, so we don't have buried treasure to find. It is almost 3. I do tend to try and end at 3, particularly if I'm trying to have enough energy this week to get a video mostly done. I think it's a good idea for me to end when I am trying to... Oh, the other thing we should do, though, one thing I do want to do is get a Lightmatica schematic of this area, because one of the things that I realized when I was building stuff is that I really, like, the reason I set... Helpful. Sorry, skeleton, but thank you for your sacrifice. Also this one, thank you. The bones are useful. I can maybe now get a dog. So one of the things when I was building is that, like, I really love this landscape and that's why I settled here, but at the same time, like, I kind of need to build stuff around it. But if I build something, like, I don't want to have to totally destroy the landscape while I'm like, there's a certain amount of terraforming that has to happen when you're building stuff, but also there's a certain amount of experimentation that happens when you're building stuff, and I don't want to, like, spend time building something and then realize that I've destroyed the landscape around it and then not know how to put it back, basically. And I also don't want to have 17 different backups of this world because, like, we don't need that. So I'm gonna do a Lightmatica model of the visible blocks in this area. So probably, you know what? Let's do from... if I go too far down, it's gonna show me caves, and I don't necessarily want to see the caves. So maybe what I'll do is I'll go, like, here. Let's go over this way. If we do, like, this, and then... Right, okay. Was that corner 1? That was corner 1, probably. And then I go over here to the other side of my base and get, like, partway up the mountain. Because I really like the hills. I don't want the hills to disappear. I don't mind if the trees disappear. I don't mind if I mean, I'm not moving this house, but I don't mind if the rest of the stuff I build moves because I haven't really built that much other stuff. But I really like the hills, and I don't want them to get completely lost. Let's maybe come over here. Let's go this way. Okay, and we're gonna do M, and we're gonna go area editor. We're gonna do corner 2. We're gonna move to player, and then if we do Y, like 150. How high does that go? Does that capture? It looks like it captures it, but it also looks like it's potentially close. Let's maybe go slightly higher. Let's go with 160. There we go. Okay, all right, now it definitely should be capturing the tower, right? You ever think about how starting off dog training by giving them a taste for human bones is maybe not a good idea? That's very true. Thank you so much for subscribing, Scooby1113. Or 1113, or 1113, however you want it. Thank you so much for subscribing, Scooby. Welcome on in. Okay, so this should be good for our schematic. Let's move. Okay, all right, so we're gonna do the same thing. So we've got our area. We're gonna not call it shipwreck number 2. We're just gonna say dig season house set. And then we're gonna save schematic for dig season house. And I'll just leave it at that for now. Oh, I meant to do visible blocks only. Saves file already exists. I know. Where is it? Okay. Let me hang on. Give me a hot second. Hold on. I did a thing wrong. It's fine. It's fine. We'll get rid of this. We just delete it. And then we do this. And then we say save schematic. There we go. Okay. And then if we X out of this, and we go to load schematics, we can actually load the schematic. I also have the house from from the Great Big Minecraft Dig because I had to rebuild it for my video. But yeah, dig season house, and we load the schematic, and yeah, there we go. So now, I mean, we can kind of see, but if it's only the visible blocks, then it's not really showing. There might be like 1 or 2 cave systems, but it shouldn't show me like all of the ore or everything that's underneath the mountains, which I don't really want to use. I feel like that's a little much for what I'm trying to do. But it means that if I make edits, and this is something you guys can do too if you use Lightmatica, if you make edits to the landscape, then you've got the schematic for how the landscape looked when you liked it, and you can just plug that back in and then edit around the builds, like just add the blocks around the builds that ended up getting removed that you didn't necessarily want to remove. Yeah, this is helpful for me because I lose track of what has changed really quickly. so yeah, so that's a big help. I'll make another one probably off camera for like the lower valley there, but I just didn't want to collect like the data for things that are like 50 blocks below this because then I think we would run into caves, and I don't necessarily want to know where the caves are. I kind of want to find those on my own. Okay, I think with that, number one, I'm gonna unload the schematics. No, hang on, loaded schematics. I will unload both of them. Yeah, I'll unload both of them. We also don't need the selection to be a thing, so we can go back here and we can do area selection box rendering. Cool. And yeah, I think we'll probably end stream there. I know it's a little bit earlier, well, a little bit soon after the break. I guess it's not earlier than I normally do, but it's sooner after the break than I normally do because I forgot about the break. But I will see about somebody to raid. And you need to build a 1.20.1 instance with Lightmatica and Replay Mod. Yes, they do both work in 1.20.1. It's very helpful. I like them a lot. I haven't got free cam on this instance yet. I need to. And I also need to finally actually do like sodium and iris and all that jazz for the various instances that I have, because I just forget all the time, but I will do that. Also, yes, thank you, Clara. I do have, you can follow on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm also on Facebook. I'm also now on Threads and Blue Sky. You can find those on like the links for all of it's the same name on all platforms. So you can find me just by searching that in your platform of choice if I have that. But you can also see it on my Twitter account. You'll see those as well. I do also have a YouTube channel and a Discord that you all are welcome to join. There's no pressure to join if you don't want to. I know a lot of people have a lot of Discords that are difficult to keep up with. But if you want to join a Discord, we chat about Minecraft and archaeology and a lot about like pets and plants and food and such. So so if you want, Pix introduced you to my channel. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so glad. Pix introduced a lot of people to my channel, and I'm really happy that that so many people are so interested, and very grateful to Pix for doing that. But yeah. So what I will do here, let me go to chatting. And I will see about finding someone to raid. Let's see. Let me see. Let's... Pix might be the reason you're here too. Yeah, Pix Raider that stayed. Yeah, a lot of people are here from Pix. Which I was kind of looking for people to raid. There are a few people, but Pix is live. It's the last time he's going to be live for a little while, so I'm feeling like it might be good to raid Pix because his computer has to be sent to be fixed. Well, to be serviced. So yeah, he's gonna not be live a little bit. So let's go ahead and raid Pix because we can, and we won't be able to for a little while. And you think Claire and Dragon are to blame for you? Yes. And you're coming from Joel. That's great. Okay, so I've started getting that raid ready for you guys. We will head over towards Pix in a few minutes, and thank you so much for hanging out and for helping me clarify some game mechanics that I didn't want to have to search on the wiki for while I was live. Yeah, I'm gonna do some stuff with some of these sites. The ones that don't have like actual sus gravel or sus sand, they're harder to do huge amounts for in the game, but I'll have a think if there's anything else we can do with them and let you know, and then we'll track down some more sites next time on Tuesday and go from there. But yeah, thanks everybody. I'll get that raid set up for you. Bye.